The last valuation that I want to go over is what are called AVMs, or Automated Valuation Modules. And you're probably most familiar with the Zestimate. This was made popular and famous by Zillow, and it's actually how they gained so many eyeballs over the years by consumers. It's because people love to see, what is my property worth? And what's the way that they can do that? Well, if you could call a real estate agent in, they might try to sell you something. But if you can go on a website and you can type in your address and no one bothers you and they just spit out a number, what are you likely to more look at? Well, the one that caused you least pain. So what caused you less pain? Looking at a website or hearing from a real estate professional? That's a good sign for us that we should be more regularly updating our clients rather than trying to sell them. So here's a good avenue for you to actually not only have a conversation with your seller, but understand what AVMs are. AVMs are automated valuation modules. Think a little bit back to our last lesson, which was all about assessed values. Assessors can't go in houses every single day. They need permission to do that. So they have to estimate. And that's exactly what automation valuation modules do. They look at the entire area and they're assuming based upon the sales data that they have from past sales and current listings as to what a property may sell for. However, they don't go inside of homes. They can't. They're computers. And so what they can do is they can take the data that they have, even pictures from when the listing was last up, whether it sold a few years ago or not, and they can estimate and say, well, the neighbor is the same 1,000 square foot ranch, 3-bedroom, 1.5 bathroom, that it just sold for $300,000. So we think that this house, the subject property, is worth $300,000. But they don't actually know, because inside of the house, it could be absolutely completely updated, or it could be in the worst condition that you've ever seen. And it will still estimate the value to be $300,000. You could look in the backyard and there could be an amazing patio and pool and all these other features, but it doesn't know that because it hasn't been in the backyard. It's just estimating based upon the other sales in the area. This is why automation valuation modules can be extremely accurate or very inaccurate at the same time. Let me give you another example. In communities across the country, they may have tract communities. These master plan communities where many houses are the same. They might have slightly different models that are available, but they're pretty much all the same. They're getting the same year built, it's the same builder, the streets are all the same, the kitchens are all the same, everything's the same. Well, if all the properties there list for $500,000 and they sell for $500,000, and the only difference is are you on a corner lot or are you not on a corner lot, that may fluctuate a little bit, but they're all pretty much selling around the same prices. Well, the great news is that you can get in a pretty tight range there. The only difference is did somebody update their home or not update their home? And so that comes into play a little bit more. In this case, it can be a little bit more accurate. Where I am, I'm in New England, you have very different homes. You can have a house that's built literally in 1600 next to a house that is built in the late 2000s. And if that's the case, you can have a huge disparity of values. Now, these automation valuation modules are getting better and better and better at all the times, trying to not consider homes that are so far apart in year built, etc. But it's not to say that that's not impacting the valuation. And so the best thing that we can do as real estate agents is showcase our value of being able to ask the pertinent questions to sellers as to what's been done to their home and what they've recently done for updates, and are there solar panels on the house, or are there power lines in the backyard, or is there a pool in the backyard? Things that an automated valuation module may not pick up on. And so in this case, you can be far more accurate than a computer any day as long as you ask the right questions and provide the value that they need. You are one step closer to confidence and expertise inside of the real estate appraisal world. I don't know if you've been selling real estate for 1 minute or you've been selling it for over a decade. Getting better at valuation is critical to the success of a real estate agent. And here's why. Your buyers are constantly looking at you. Where is this property going to sell? And you need to speak with confidence about it. Your sellers are asking, I don't want to undersell. I want to make sure that I sell at the top dollar. Where do you go from here? How do you truly do that? If you are in the process right now, and maybe this is you, where you're sitting at dining room tables with maybe a CMA toolkit and you're trying to flip through pages as to show properties and what they're worth, guys, you're doing it all wrong. I'm sure you've probably had success, but you could have far more success if you truly know the appraisal process, how to do it, and how to speak with confidence to your clients so that you can say, I know where this property is going to sell. If you're on the buy side, you won't make a mistake. And I know where this property is going to sell if you're on the sell side, and let me get the most amount of money for you. If you're on the fence of purchasing this course, I want you to ask yourself, has it ever been a better time to invest in yourself in a more tumultuous market than right now? I'd love to see you inside the course.